What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Matt Corman podcast. I'm your host, Matt Corman. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate it. Today, I'm going to tell you guys a story. Today, I'm going to tell you a story basically of my career and the lessons that I learned while going through it so far. So if you're listening to this in the car, you're out on a run, working out, whatever it may be, cleaning the house, getting some work done, throw this on in the background, tell you guys a story real quick. So I started out my career in music when I was at a very young age. I was about 10 years old when I started putting music out on rapbattles.com. For those who don't know, rapbattles.com is this website where you literally would get in rapbattles.com, you would get in text battles with other artists and then just like battle each other like on some Eminem 8 Mile shit. And I was doing that when I was 10 years old, man. My battles are still up to this day. And it's pretty funny. So sometimes I like to go back and see what I was writing and the type of verses I was putting out. A lot of them made just zero sense at all, but it was a good time. Anyways, my oldest brother was a rapper, and he got me into it. And since then, I was obsessed with it. Back in high school, I played on the hockey team, and my buddy Dave was always drumming on the Gatorade bottles, and we were making beats on the bench, and so I was always freestyling to it. I was like the kid on the bus. I was always freestyling about the cars going by, and just from that, it kind of progressed into me falling more in love with music. I think that I was blessed with knowing what I wanted to do in life. You know, I think that a big problem that everybody kind of struggles with is figuring out what our passion is, like what we're trying to do in life. And for me, I got lucky from a very young age. I knew that I enjoyed making music. I knew that I enjoyed putting words together to create songs or stories. I was always writing stories at a young age, and some people aren't blessed with that at a young age. So right now, when you graduate from high school or college, whatever it may be, that may be your time to figure out, hey, I'm not sure what my passions are, but I'm just trying to explore and try a bunch of different shit. So Gary Vaynerchuk's advice to that is always try a bunch of different things, and then that's how you figure out what you're passionate about, what you like. But I was lucky from a young age. I was always making rap songs, and then as things progressed in college, my freshman year of college, we were going down to the dorms, right? So I went to school at Southern New Hampshire University. At SNU, SNHU, there were these dorms called the lower suites. We called it the ghetto, just because like the dorms down there had been around for a longer time, and so they were of lesser quality than the newer dorms. And so we would always, after the parties, it's like 2 a.m, we would go and freestyle my buddy J Mo's dorm, J Mo and Pat down at the dorm called Ossipee. And a lot of people that were out partying would then come to his dorm after and then just watch me and a couple other people freestyle all night long. And there's still videos of this online on YouTube that you can type in and go see if you look up like Matt Corman freestyling in a dorm room. So was doing that for a while, just like having fun on campus. And when it came around Christmas time, my roommates Keith, Danny, and Danny, two Dannys, bought me a microphone. They bought me the Blue Snowball USB microphone. And I remember Keith specifically was like, hey man, you're really passionate about this, so we got you a microphone. You should make some music with it. You should record your songs. And I remember like instantly I built we had a couch in the common room, and I took the couch cushions and then I put it next to my closet, and I built like a makeshift studio. And I lived with four dudes in one room. 4 dudes in one room in college, and we didn't know each other. And so it was always mayhem. But I found a way to record, and then when it got quiet, when it got too busy, I would actually take my laptop, go drive down to it was like an abandoned parking lot essentially, and I would record in my car. And I actually have like that's how my first songs were ever made, and that I put on SoundCloud. I was in the back seat of my car, and you could actually hear the heat from my car in the songs. Like you would hear that in the mix. So it's pretty funny stuff, man. Good times, bro. Good times. That's how I first started my music career, and then from there I just kept on putting out song after song after song. I would download a beat off of YouTube, and then I would rap to it, and then make the cover art on Canvas or whatever, and then I would put out the songs. And then from that on campus, a lot of people got to know me as like the rapper kid. Everybody from high school was supporting my music a little bit. They were like, yo, it's my boy, he's putting out songs. All of them were trash. They weren't really good. I always had the ability to rap, but it was never that easy to put together a full song. So I definitely struggled with that. But I never struggled with the passion and being persistent. That's one thing that really drove me through, and that's what's helped me so far in my career now. But anyways, we're putting out a bunch of songs, and then I learned that you could do shows. So I saw there's this place in Boston called the Middle East. Shout out the Middle East. Really jump started my performance career. And I saw on the website, this website called Leeds Edutainment. Shout out Leeds. That he was hosting shows, and people would go out there and perform. And I noticed that people were opening for other artists that were coming to town. So I sent Leeds an email one time, I think. Pretty sure I sent him an email. It's just like, hey, I want to open for the show. How does it work? And this guy named Jake hit me back, and he was like, basically, you got to just sell 30 tickets. If you sell 30 tickets, you can perform for 15, 20 minutes, whatever it was. And I was like, shit, cool. So I did that. I think I was opening for, it might have been Cam Meekins or Neomzo, one of the two. I think it might have been Cam Meekins. But basically what I did was I just went on campus and was like, hey, yo, $15 a ticket, come watch me perform in Boston. And I was performing Boston is like an hour away from my campus, but people were down. And so we ended up selling all the tickets, and then we packed out the venue with all of my friends, 30, 40 people came out and supported me. And it was a great time. And then from then I was able to get new fans that were at the show before. The video of this is still on YouTube if you look it up too. But that's how I started my performance career, was selling tickets and trying to get in front of people. And basically, I was doing more and more on that, and then more people were showing up until I was able to have my own shows. And then I did my own headliner in Boston at the same venue that I was opening at, and did that for a couple of years and was successful with that. And so it was just a brick by brick growth period on how to actually get fans to buy your tickets, alongside with the whole time I was putting out music. So that's pretty much the beginning of my career. And then from there, I got a job after I graduated college. I was working at Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Bro, for those of you that have worked at Enterprise Rent-A-Car, you know what I'm talking about. It was called the Management Trainee Program. This program requires you to work 12 hours every day. The minimum amount of hours to be considered full-time at Enterprise was 49 hours, as opposed to the typical 40-hour work week. So I was going in there from 6 to 6 every day, essentially, and was working. And then I would come home, and then I would make a song. And then I was releasing a song every other week at that time, from 2018 to 2019, 2017, 2019. And that's how I built up my streaming presence online through SoundCloud, Spotify, all the DSPs. And I kept up with that for those 2 to 3 years. And the thing about Enterprise is that it really showed me what I don't want to do in life. Make sense? Bro, I was coming in 6 in the morning, Government Center garage in downtown Boston, no heat. It's fucking 4 degrees out there, and I'm vacuuming and cleaning cars before the sun's even up, and parking it, putting it on the line. No food yet. You haven't had breakfast. Customers are coming in. It's busy all day long. You're learning customer service. You're learning sales. And then we were running around the whole city and basically delivering cars to people. And it was a blast. It was a fun time. And Enterprise really taught me work ethic, and it taught me a lot. It taught me sales, customer service, and it taught me how to persevere and push through hard times. I remember this one time specifically. I was working at Boston Logan Airport, okay? There was a snowstorm. And when you get a big snowstorm up in New England, it's snowing on you. And it was 1.5 feet of snow. And I remember they canceled all taxis. There was no transportation out there. So basically, and the snowstorm happened during my shift. So I was there at 6 in the morning, and I was working until 6 p.m. And by that time, there was no transportation happening. So I had no way of getting back to my house. And so they were basically, hey, you can just wait around until transportation gets up and running again. And I was like, fuck that shit. I'm not waiting another second. I lived by the airport, but it was not in walking distance. I said, fuck that shit. I'm gone. So what I did was I started walking, and it said that it was going to be about a 30-minute walk, but that didn't account for the fact that there was snowfall. Me being me and being an idiot, I was like, cool, I'm going to trench through the snow and I'm going to get there. I get about a half mile till I realize it's a fucking blizzard and it's impossible. But I wanted to get out of Enterprise so badly that I couldn't wait another second in that place. It just wasn't going to happen. And as I was walking, I noticed in the distance there was tons of yellow taxis parked in this little gated area. And then I realized that's where the taxis actually come to check in. And they were all waiting to go out until they were cleared to drive around the city. And this one guy was smoking a cigarette out by his car. And I just went up to him. I was like, yo, bro, will you take me to top of the hill? That's where I live. And he was like, no, we're not allowed to. And I was like, well, how much money would it cost for you to just do that? And then he was like, oh, the top of the hill, like it's really scary out right now, blah, blah. The whole thing, right? So I ended up giving the guy $40 to bring me to the top of the hill. And then the whole car ride up there, he was asking me what I was doing walking around. And then I told him I worked at the rental car center at the airport. And then he was telling me how his cousin works there as well. And his cousin hates it more than anything. Hates the hours, wants to do something else, and just can't do it, blah, blah, the whole story, right? Anyways, we get to my house, and as I walked into my house, I realized that moment right then and there, I was like, fuck this. I'm never doing this again. This isn't worth it. I just showed up. If you're getting to work at 6 a.m., that means you're waking up at like 4:50. You know, I had to commute there. Essentially, the transportation took me like 30 minutes to get there. So, like, I basically was like, this isn't worth it right now. So I've been through the bullshit of it. And so I was like, fuck this. I'm going to release a song every single day if I can. I realized that I couldn't release a song every day because, one, I didn't have the money. Making songs costs a lot of money. You got to buy the beat, which could be $100, $300, $30, whatever it is if you're leasing it, whatever your situation is. You got to pay to mix and master it, or you mix and master yourself, and that can be a couple $100. And then getting it out on distribution costs money as well. I didn't have money. So I went to Instagram and I said, I'm going to do a freestyle every single day. And for those that are OGs of Matt Corman, you'll remember I would drop a song freestyling every single day. And then whoever commented in the comments, I would take the person's name. And then the next day I would make the freestyle about them. And I did that for 36 days. And from then I noticed my Instagram following was growing a little more. It was just hard to keep up with because I would come home from working at Enterprise Rent-A-Car 12 hours a day and then be like, fuck, I got to do a fucking rap song right now about somebody in the comments. But I did it, and I kept up with it for a long time. And that methodology has taken me to heights in my career through everything. So that way of thinking has helped me in putting out songs, doing shows, pushing merch, doing podcasts, whatever it may be, that has helped. And that directly relates to, I think, everything in business and in life. You know, if you're chasing a dream right now, if you're chasing the goal of like working out, for an example, let's say you're training to run a marathon. The thought process about being persistent and sticking to your goals and making that the sole focus rather than the actual results will take you far. Because my entire music career, up until a couple years ago, I wasn't making any money. I was losing money every single year, the entire time. So I have a line in one of my songs where I say, I think it's "Count My Blessings" or something. I think maybe "Count My Lessons." It's like, what you know about put the work in every day and the results are not paying off. And what I mean by that is, like, if you are trying to get an extreme result, my extreme result would be I want to be a touring musician selling out venues of 2,000 people every night. That's a very hard thing to accomplish. My goal is to make a living off my music. I want to make 10 to 20 grand a month off my music. That's a hard goal to accomplish. And so in order to get that extreme result, I need to do extreme things. And what you need to do that I found useful is don't attach your value, your idea of the value, to the results, but attach it to the work that you're getting done. So an example of this is if you want to run a 6-minute mile and keep up that pace for 6 miles, don't look at your time every day and say, hey, I'm getting lower and lower and lower. Look at you actually doing the action of running every single day, right? Does that make sense? So if I want a 6-minute mile, I'm not going to go, hey, every day I ran 7 minutes. Okay, then I ran 7 minutes. It was 10 seconds. Oh, I ran 8 minutes. Oh man, I'm getting worse. I'm getting slower. This one I did lighter. Did a shorter amount of time. What you want to do is look at how many times you're actually doing it. How many times are you doing the action? You know what I mean? And then you can go and measure. Like for an example, I'm currently running right now. I love running, and I noticed the other day I was like, hey, I'm just gonna go out and run 4 miles. And typically I run about 6 miles every day. And I've been ramping it up. 6 miles, 7 miles. Sometimes I'll run slower. I'll run like 10-minute, 30 miles for that mile for like it's a slower pace. But the other day I ran 4 miles and it was the fastest I've ever ran 4 miles. If my goal was to run the fastest 4 mile I've ever run before, I wouldn't have achieved it if I was just trying to go faster every single time. But I focused on doing the action of going out on a run and just adding more miles or just like making sure I'm getting the run done. That's what was helpful for me. That's how my mind operates. So if you're a musician, you're watching this, I know a lot of artists follow my content. And you want to get the results of getting a lot of streams on your music. Just focus on putting out quality songs. Check that off your list. Hey, I want to get 1 million streams on a song. Just make your goal to put out 50 high quality songs. 50 high quality songs. Don't make your goal 100,000 streams here, 500,000 streams here, because a lot of that you can't actually control. But you can control your output. You can control how much you actually do. You know, if you want to work out and you want to lift 300 pound bench press, focus on how many times you're working out and going to the gym every day, and check that off the list. Within the journey of you doing all these actions, you are going to end up getting the result that you want. And that's what happened in my career. So to keep the story going here, I worked at a company called K-Force. It's a staffing agency. Great place. Love those people over there. And I was putting out a song every other week in 2019. Lo and behold, I catch a break. There's a YouTube group called Nelk. They used my song. They were using my music before in their videos. Shout out Osgod. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. They used a couple different songs. So shout out Osgod. Nelk used my songs in like 4 or 5 different videos. And they were just using fans' music, people's in underground artists. And this guy Osgod put my song Word of the Wise in their biggest merch drop. Basically, they had the biggest merch drop they've ever had, and my song was the theme song to the merch drop. Skyrocketed. That was my lucky break in 2019. From that, I saw so much attention on the music, all these new listeners, all these new fans, and then I noticed the money went up as well. Before, I was making like $700 a month. Now I'm able to cover rent. Now I got a couple $1,000s coming. I got like $3,000 coming in every month. That's what happened. I think it was $3,000. And the second I saw I made $3,000 in a month, I was like, fuck it, I'm quitting my job. And that's what I did. I went to my boss and I was like, hey, because there was a few labels trying to talk to me, and I was like, hey, I'm going to entertain this music thing for a while and try to make it happen. And my boss was really cool. He was just like, yeah, man, if it doesn't work out, you can always just come back. We'd love to have you. And in knowing that, I was like, bet, I'm out. And so that's what I did. I quit, and then I just focused on putting out a bunch of music. And what I did was I just focused on putting out a song every week. Coronavirus hit. I put out a song every week. Bro, I was driving Uber as well. I was an Uber driver for a while. That's all I did. I just drove Uber, and then I just made music full time, and that's all that I did. And from focusing my energy and my time towards my goal, then it became something larger. Since then, I've only seen growth. This last year, we grew 150%. And the year before that, we grew like over 500%. So in knowing that it all paid off, and it's all working right now. This camera's getting super overexposed right now. Help that out. Yeah, I think that if I put my arm over there, it gets all fucked up. But okay, we're good. Yeah, so now I'm here, and I'm in my career now where I hit 1 million monthly listeners this year. That's always been the biggest goal of mine, and I continue to put out a song every other week. At the top of this year, I put out a song every week in January, and I'm finishing out the year strong. I'm putting out more and more music, and now I've learned that in the landscape you have to put out more and more content. That's what I'm doing. That's why I brought the podcast back. And I guess the purpose of the story is to show you guys is that this is how it all came about, right? I was a normal guy who's just playing hockey in college and high school, rapping with my friends, and then my friends believed in me. They gave me the confidence that I can do this. I was hustling. I was buying on to situations, selling tickets to shows. Some of those shows I didn't sell enough tickets. I had to pay for those tickets. I had some shows where I had fans were coming out to see me, and I was losing money at the show. But what was important to me was I always knew in the long game was I want to retain fans. It's an investment to me. It's like if I was losing money doing those shows at that point in time, I didn't consider it a loss. I considered it I'm just investing in my career, my future. And so that's what I was doing. And I continue to do that stuff all the time. Like transparently, the last tour I just went on, I didn't make any money on it. I lost money. We were traveling. We didn't make anything. We were traveling around the United States, booking hotels every night. Like touring is insanely expensive. This real quick. Touring is an expensive thing, and artists aren't always making money when you're out on tour. So this last tour that I just went on, that was cross country. Went to Canada. We're in the United States. I lost money. We're flying places, rental cars, hotels, and you're not necessarily making money on every show that you're doing. You know, some of these things are not profitable. And I was opening. I wasn't the headliner. I wasn't retaining the profits of everything. So, but I view that as an investment. I got to meet people. I got to meet fans. I got to see new faces and retain new fans. I got to shake hands with people and do direct marketing. People that are actually buying tickets to concerts, I got to meet them. I got to see people that have been listening to my music since 2018 and my story, that are in this group, people that are listening to this podcast right now. I'd rather invest in that. That shit's priceless. It's not all about money. That's another thing that I realized early on too, is like, it's so cliche to say this, but it's seriously, it's the truth. It's not about money. It can't be. If you're doing something like this, if you're chasing a dream of music, if you're chasing any entrepreneurial venture, for the first 5 years, chalk that shit up. You're not making money, bro. You're not going to make any money. If you do make money, you're lucky. You're extremely lucky. You're not supposed to make money right away. I started putting out music for the first time ever in end of 2016 on Spotify. I think December 2016. So it's been 2017, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. It's been 5, 6, 7 years. I was able to do this full time 3 years ago. So it took me 4 years, 17, 18, 19, 20, 2020. Yeah, it took me 4 years to make this my full-time job. In those 4 years, I was losing money every single year. So if you're starting anything, this venture, whatever you're doing, bro, it's going to take a while. And it's okay. You're not supposed to be balling. I think the statistic for small business is for the first 5 years, everybody's in the red. You know, companies aren't profitable for a very long time. So don't trip, you know, be easy on yourself. But yeah, so after Nelk used my songs, I just kept on building up the catalog and putting out more and more music and content. And now this takes me to this time in my life. I always wanted to move down to Miami, and now I'm here in Miami, Florida. It's been a dream of mine to live here. I've lived here for 2 years now, and I got my own spot, and every day I'm just making music and putting out content and figuring out how to best push the brand forward and the best things to do. And that's the story of me and how I became to what I am. And also, I want to note here, I got a tattoo here that says "Make It Happen." So the entire time I was at Enterprise Rent-A-Car and I was fucking cleaning cars, freezing my ass off, the entire time I knew that I wanted to be a professional musician. I had a goal in mind. I wanted to live off of my music. That was the whole idea. I kept on telling myself I got to find a way to make it happen. I would see people signing these crazy record deals, blowing up on the internet, and I was always like, damn, I don't have the resources these guys have. I don't have the resources this person has. I just got to find a way to make it happen. I kept on telling myself that. So much to the point that my brand became Make It Happen. Anything that I would do, anything me and my friends would do that was cool, we would say like, yeah, we're just making it happen. And so I got this tattooed, Make It Happen, and there's about 40 Make It Happen tattoos out there right now from my fans and listeners and people that believe in the brand. And that's the point behind it. That's what the MIH fam is for. It's the Make It Happen fam. That's why this content exists in this group, because I want people who consume my content to not only enjoy the music, but to get more value out of it and understand who I am and how I got to this place and how I'm going to continue to achieve different goals in my life. And it's through the method of being persistent and working hard to make things happen, even if you may not have the resources available to make those things happen in the fashion that you desire. You can make this shit happen. I'm an example. I was able to make my dreams come true. My dreams have already come true. This is a dream of mine. This is the dream. And I'm so appreciative that I'm here. And it's because of people like you that are listening to me. But I want you to know, if you're in a situation that I was in before, you can do the same thing that I did. You can actually make your dreams come true. And I know it sounds corny and cliche, but fuck all that. It's the truth. You can make it happen. And that's why I got this tattooed on myself, because it's what I believe in. And I live by it every day. And I hope that you can take something out of what I just said there, and you can apply it to yourself. That's why this is called the MIH fam. My goal for this group and my whole fan base and my community is to make a network where everybody can kind of lean on each other. You know, I think it'd be really cool one day is if I took everybody to the MIH fam. You know, there's 87 members or so in this group right now, maybe 84. I think it's 84. And in my fan base too that aren't in the group, that, you know, one day there's a couple hundred people and maybe everybody can talk to each other. We can have a Discord where you can become friends, and like, this person over here is starting a business. This person over here just got a promotion, or this person's on a fitness journey, and you guys can all collaborate and become friends and talk to each other and lean on each other and create a real community where everyone's providing value for each other. And if I can be the epicenter of that and create that, that's the next dream of mine. That's where I'm at. And, you know, becoming a professional musician, that was one dream, and it is, and I can say I made it happen, and I'm really proud of it. And if I can be able to give back and create that situation scenario for others, especially in people that support me and listen to my music and my podcast, my content, that's incredible. So, thank you so much for joining the MIH fam, and thank you for trying your hardest and being somebody who's listening to my music and is willing and able to put in the energy to make your dreams come true. So that's my background. That's who I am. My name's Matt Corman. I'm from Massachusetts, and I'm a musician. I'm a rapper, and I'm a podcaster, content creator, and I'm a dreamer, and I'm a believer, and I believe in you. So I hope you have a great day. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. I'm going to try to do much more of these. And if you're not, make sure you guys subscribe to my group. It's completely free. It's where the MIH fam lives. I'm posting these exclusively in the group. Merch is now available at mattcorman.com/shop. I'm giving away a hoodie to one member that is in the MIH fam, somebody who's lucky. And I'm going to announce that this week. So thanks so much for tuning in. Whistle is out now. Hope you guys enjoy the music. I love you so much. Peace.